Hello, let's throw some shapes. One of the new features in Ableton 12 is the ability to generate notes using some generative tools, and one of them is called shape, and this is how it sounds. I've really set this up a little bit, but by default the shapes are, you can select them with a drop down here. We'll have a look at those in a moment, but it's quite something I really like, so I'm actually going to save it. I'm going to actually record it into let's play it first of all so you can have a listen to it. So I don't know if you can see, but over on the left hand side you can see my cursor moving around. I'm just using this little drawing tool to sketch out the general shape of the notes, and I'm getting what you're hearing, and you can see the notes are moving around in the main piano roll grid. So you can get some lovely ideas. Let's just have a look at some of the settings in here. I was going to do that for a little bit. Let's have a look. So you can start off with any shape from the pre-selected options, and then you can just pick up the notes and move them around. You can also, of course, move the notes around in the main display as well, and it doesn't go backwards into this control. Another thing worth mentioning is that in Live 12 we have a new feature that is called basically you can lock down to a particular scale, a particular root note. So we're working C major at the moment, and if you look in the piano roll just on the side of the grid, you can see these little purple markers here. They indicate the notes that are in the scale. So C major, most of those notes apart from the black keys are in the scale, and as you generate these notes, you'll notice that I think in most cases these notes do align with the purple markers. So you can there's a way that you can whistle it down to show just the scaled notes on the grid, and I thought I knew how to do it, but or highlight scale. That highlights it, so you can see the purple lines there. Of this scale, most of them appear to be purple. If I went for something like a pentatonic scale, which comprises of just 5 notes per octave, that would be a little bit more sparse. Or you can do this and whittle it down to being showing just the notes that are in the current scale. So that's really handy. So going back to the shape control, we can change the pitch. So I'm going to, let's put it back into play again. So what happened there is I was taking the range down to F1 to A1, so it's seriously limiting the number of notes that it might create. But also the other thing I did was I had selected one note, and that's the only note that it's moved. So if I deselect those notes and then select all of them, I think that's what I need to do. And I now adjust this once again and take it up to D4. So let's recap on that slightly. If I select maybe these 4 notes here, and I do something a bit obscure and take these up really high up like that, and E4 to E4 is not particularly interesting. Let's go. We can go. That's it, and let's divide them up a little bit. You can operate on a handful of notes at a time. So you might have, say, you're working on 4 bars of notes at a time. You might want to concentrate on one bar. You're happy with how the first bar sounds. The second bar, you want to vary it slightly. The third, vary it a bit more again, and the fourth, a little bit more again. But you're sticking with the same scale, it's the same root note, and because of that, you have the same kind of feel throughout the whole piece. But you can leave some parts of the composition alone. So these grayed out notes are locked down. Anything I do in here will not affect them now. So let's have a listen to this. So it's extremely versatile, and let's have a look at what I can do in here. So we've got some other controls. We have the rate, and by changing that, you'll see that I'll go down to grid. Grid means it's setting the rates to what the grid is set to. At the moment, it's set to 16th notes. I can change that to, let's say, quarter notes, and the rate of change is less frequent, but I could then change the rate of the rate setting to, it goes from grids to fit. That's interesting. It basically sort of squeezes them into, okay, there's density. If I 100%, it's populating as much of the space in the grid as it can. And then density, if I change that, well, it's become more sparse. Bearing in mind, it's changing a selection of the notes and leaving the previous notes I'd set in place, leaving them where they are. So you've got a little bit more of a polyphonic thing going on here. You can tie notes, and this will be a percentage of which notes are tied. You'll see, for example, there's a couple of notes over the right hand side which are separate and tie, they come together. Jitter is an interesting one. Jitter, the higher you go, the more, it's probably easier to do this with just see what I selected. Let's go clear that, and if we set this to something like that, that's quite interesting. Change jitter, we'll see what happens. It's the alignment of the notes. So if I turn jitter down to nothing, think of it as being, the notes have been calculated to follow this pattern. And jitter moves them up and down, so the variance, I think, they become a little bit more spaced on the scale, basically. They stay exactly where they are in terms of the timeline, but in terms of the scale, they start to spread out a bit more. So, And as you can see, you can let the clip keep on playing. At the moment, I'm actually in the clip, but you can keep it looping and playing, and you can keep on tweaking your shape until you get something that you like, and then commit that to a clip in the session view, start another clip. Or you could copy the clip you've just finished and vary that some more. It's very impressive. I am impressed, and I'm going to leave it at that because I'm going to come back to the other tools one at a time, because that allows me to focus on them a little bit better. There's a whole load more, many more to go through, and thank you for listening, and catch you in the next one. Bye for now.